Did you know that 72% of Americans reported feeling stressed about money, according to the American Psychological Association? Yes, you heard it right. 72%. Quite a staggering figure, isn't it? It's a shocking reality that a significant portion of our society is grappling with the overwhelming pressure of financial stress. Now let's take a step back and consider this. Stress, particularly chronic stress, is a silent enemy. It's a health hazard that can lead to a multitude of issues, from mental health problems like anxiety and depression, to physical health problems like heart disease and high blood pressure. And yet, we find ourselves in this relentless pursuit of money, often at the expense of our health and well-being. It's a race that seems to have no finish line, a race that keeps our stress levels consistently high. So, the question remains, is the money you're chasing really worth all this stress? Let's delve into the story of John, a high-powered executive who was earning a six-figure salary but was constantly stressed. John was a high achiever, always pushing himself to climb the corporate ladder. His life was a whirlwind of meetings, deadlines, and high-pressure decisions. He had all the trappings of success, a luxury car, a lavish home, and an enviable social status. Yet beneath this glossy exterior, John was a man on the edge. You see, John's life was dominated by his pursuit of wealth. His days were a blur of work, his nights fraught with anxiety about the next business deal or looming deadline. The relentless stress began to take a toll on his health. He was perpetually fatigued, had frequent headaches, and his doctor warned him of rising blood pressure. John's relationships suffered too. His wife often complained of his absence at family dinners. His children missed their father at their school events. His friends rarely saw him outside of work. He was there, but not really present. The stress of chasing money had isolated him from his loved ones. But John ignored these warning signs. He was convinced that once he reached his financial goals, he could relax, spend time with his family, and take care of his health. But the reality? That time never came. The constant stress eventually led to a major health scare. John found himself in a hospital bed, staring at the sterile white ceiling, his dreams of a happy, relaxed future shattered. His relentless pursuit of money had cost him his health, strained his relationships, and left him with a life filled with stress. John's story is a stark reminder that money isn't everything, and excessive stress can lead to severe consequences. Remember, the wealth you chase today should not come at the expense of your health and happiness tomorrow. It's about striking a balance, because, after all, what's the point of having all the money in the world if you're too stressed to enjoy it? Understanding the balance between money and stress is crucial. Let's introduce you to the money-stress balance framework. This framework is much like a compass, guiding you to assess whether the money you're chasing is worth the stress it's causing. Envision a square divided into 4 equal quadrants. Each quadrant represents a unique blend of money and stress. The first quadrant is the low money, low stress quadrant. This is where you're making enough to live modestly and comfortably without undue stress. You may not have luxuries, but you also don't have sleepless nights worrying about work. The second quadrant represents high money, high stress. Here you're earning a lot, but at what cost? You're under constant pressure, your health may be suffering, and you may have little time for anything outside of work. The third quadrant is a tricky one. Low money, high stress. You're not earning much, but the stress levels are high. You might be in a job you dislike or in an unstable work environment. Finally, we have the high money, low stress quadrant. This is often seen as the ideal scenario. You're making good money and you're not under constant stress. Perhaps you've found a job you love, or you've developed effective stress management strategies. Now, these quadrants are not fixed. They are fluid, and you can move from one to another. The key is to be aware of where you currently stand, and to make conscious decisions about where you'd like to be. Remember, it's not just about the money. It's about the quality of life you have while earning that money. It's about balancing your needs, your wants, and your well-being. So take a moment and ask yourself, where do you fall in this framework? And more importantly, where do you want to be? With this framework, you can better understand if you're pushing yourself too hard for the money you're earning. Now that we've explored the correlation between money and stress, let's summarize our main points. We've unveiled the often shocking reality of how stress and money are intertwined in our lives. We've shared John's story, a prime example of someone who let the pursuit of wealth consume him, negatively impacting both his health and relationships. And we've introduced the Money Stress Balance Framework, a tool to help guide you in maintaining equilibrium between your financial goals and stress levels. The key takeaway here is that while money is an important aspect of our lives, it should never come at the cost of our health or happiness. It's about finding a balance and taking steps to manage stress effectively. Because at the end of the day, your health and well-being are priceless. No amount of money is worth compromising them. Remember, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insightful discussions like this one. Until then, take care and keep the balance. Keep